Okay, good morning, all of you. Today we'll discuss about the application of work done. So actually, we had just some small idea about the work done concept. So that with this the small idea, what happened, we'll further explore things. So what are the various? Say I said that work done by the force. Now the question comes, sir, what are the types of forces basically? Can you classify the types of forces? Yes. So altogether, we can just classify the forces as either conservative, non-conservative, and external also. So if you see some, we say external force here, that one. So here the nature of forces, we can put conservative and non-conservative and external. So yesterday you have come across the potential energy concept here. So that potential energy concept, I'm going to introduce for conservative forces. So what do you mean by conservative forces? So what are the basic features of that? Work done by a conservative force in a closed path is zero. So what do you mean by this? It will be WC, you write it, integral of FC bar dot DL. Dot product here. So what do you mean by this? Integration in closed path. There are two types of integral. This is called like a line integral. Say some f into dx. So when I write like this, integration in closed path. Okay, this you write it dr bar. If you write only this much, so what does it mean? Integration along some one specific direction. Here, if I write a circle like this, it's the integration in closed path. Integration in closed path here. This is called like a line integral. This is called like a closed contour integral. So that word you may get confused. I'm just putting integration in closed path here. So what is the one basic feature of conservative force? Work done by conservative force in a closed path is zero. What are the examples of conservative forces? Gravitational force, gravitational force, nothing but the weight will come into picture. So more properly, the weight of an object, weight of an object. Next, what are other forces? The spring force. Already you have some idea of spring force. Then next, elastic forces. Then not all, only few electrostatic. Means electrostatic again you'll have conservative as non-conservative forces. So therefore, all electrostatic forces need not be conservative. That when we enter into the chapter electricity maximum, there you'll come across that one. So time being, I'll just put electrostatic. Then magnetostatic. Okay, these are all come under category of the conservative force. These are the examples. So examples, what are that one? Gravitational force, spring force, elastic force. I think time being, these three forces is what we'll be discussing in our the present chapter. The present chapter.
Sir,
Uh,
just assume a piston, sir.
you wait. I'll explain the concept. I'll give example. Then you can clarify your doubt. I know that one. Huh? They just wait for some time. Well, let me introduce some concept. Okay, this is about the gravitational force, spring force, and the elastic force. Fine. Next, again. So what are the just listen at the end of the concept you can come into the picture, huh? Not at the beginning of concept. Any have doubt? Okay, just preserve it. Now these are the examples that one. So what is the any mathematical way of finding out whether given force is a conservative force? This one. So here curl of a mathematical operation, curl of f bar If it is equal to 0, then F bar is a conservative force. So there's a one, what is that curl operation? We'll see in the, it's a mathematical, like how we have cross product, dot product, no? Like this, what happens, we do have an operator called like a curl operator. So curl of F bar curl of F bar. So how we had a dot product, cross product, no? Similarly, what happened, the curl is also one mathematical operator, which is introduced to perform some many operations of which we are using to show that given force is a conservative. To show that the given force is a conservative. That one. And similarly, if a curl of F bar not equal to 0, F bar is non F bar is a non-conservative force. So there's one basic idea, like whether a given force is a conservative or non-conservative. This is a mathematical. When they give equation, no, this is the most easiest way of concluding things. This is the most easiest way for us. Then this is about the if they give equation, there's the one. So what do you mean by curl of F bar? How it will be? How that operation will be performed? I cap minus j cap. The expansion of that, it will be dou by dou x, dou by dou y, dou by dou z, fx, fy, fz. This is just only presentation. I'll give all the examples. Just only this is a presentation. It's not something I'm not telling. Just I'm giving the basic idea. These are the different things. Then come for this one. Work done by conservative force in a closed path is 0. What are the? Let's take example. I will take the weight of the object. Already we know the potential idea. This one. The block is at point P1. This one. So what I do, I will shift it up. Then I will shift it down. So I'll move from, let's say from A to B, again back to B to A. So here it is shifted up, then shifted down. So let this distance be h. As it moves from A to B, O will shift not on its own, external agent. An external agent will slowly move the block from A to B. An external agent slowly moves the block from A to B and back B to A. What is the work done by the gravity? So how the weight mg will act like this. In the first case, when it is moving from A to B, so we are bothered about not work done by external agent, work done by the gravity. So here external agent will be here external agent will be applying a force. Slowly, I'll write it word slowly. Slowly word is there, no, already is there. Yeah. Okay, let's ask now work done by the gravity, work done by mg when it moves from A to B. So what is mg? Shall I say it does negative work? Because as it moves from A to B, how mg is acting vertically down. What is the displacement? Vertically up. What is the angle between the force and the displacement? 180. So I'll write minus mgh. So what is the work done by gravity? The block is shifted from A to B minus mgh. Work done by the gravity when the block is shifted from B to A slowly. How mg will act? In the direction of displacement. In the direction of displacement. So therefore, So this will be HU, right? I think I'll better let me write here so that it'll be easy for you. What is the net work done by the weight? Is it a closed path? Are you seeing any closed path? What do you mean by closed path? Where you begin, you should come back to that initial point. It's there's no necessity that you should trace a path. So time being. So therefore, this should be equal to now work done from A to B. Sir, you took vertically. So why don't you take in some arbitrary direction? Okay, let's take that also. So this is the block A. So what I do is like I will take some arbitrary path. Slowly, the action agent will slowly lift and this is a path. That one. So then again, he will bring like this. So there's a path, this one. So what is the network done by the weight? Then also it will be zero. So are you seeing closed path? Yes, it is. So there's a one basic idea of, so I shall I put like this? There's a mathematical way. Work done from A to B, then B to A, it will be zero. Or you do one thing, sir, I'll move in at some curved path. Then also will be zero. So what we can conclude here now. This is one classic example of the work done by the weight. Somebody asked a doubt. Yeah.
Sir. Sir,
Ah.
it's me, sir.
Okay, okay, yeah, carry on.
Sir, assume a piston, sir, and such that the pressure above the piston is greater than pressure below the piston.
Okay,
Then,
fine, yeah.
then due to pressure difference, there will be some force exerted on the piston, right, sir?
Okay, first tell me pressure force, conservative force or non-conservative force?
Yes, that is my doubt, sir.
Pressure force is a conservative force. Sir. The fluid, no, it is a,
Yes.
it's a fluid. Force exerted by the fluid must be conservative.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, that one. In fluid mechanics, we can get in detail.
Okay.
I didn't introduce that fluid force. Fluid force is again molecular force only. Say we have moved it slowly to explain concept. Why I am moving slowly to explain concept? Because if I don't move slowly, what will happen? The kinetic energy should be brought into the picture. I'm more interested to learn this one. So this is one basic idea about the conservative force. A work done by conservative force in closed path will be zero. Means now, so here let's come to the very beautiful explanation I'm giving it. So a person, what happened, will release this block from certain height. These are very best examples what available in SC Verma. So now the same person, what will happen, he will release this block on an inclined plane. Then next he will bring a some curved track. So what is the height of this? Let h be the height. So once you get this, rest of everything we know, you can manage very systematically this one. So and so what we do is, let me go for some. No. Nowhere the block should not lose contact. Yeah. So in all the four cases, the block is released from rest here. The block is here, it will arrive with a speed v1, v2. Of course, velocity will be different. This will be v4. So there's a 1, situation 2, 3, and 4. In all above 4 cases, block is released from rest. I'm just asking what will happen to the speed of the block when it reaches the bottom of the incline. We know directly, so don't bother about anything work done. Directly get into the kinematics. So from kinematics, what you can write it here like here, V1 equal to root of 2gh. How much of height the block will descend? It is freely falling, no? It's a freely falling. So V1 should be equal to root of 2gh. Then what about here? What force will do work here? So let this be theta, mg sine theta. So here, second case, I'll use Work-Ng theorem. I'll release from rest plus mg sine theta into x. What is the distance here? Let it be x2. Into x2 equal to mv2 square by 2. From the triangle, so what is sine theta? H by x2. So in place of x2 sine theta, what you can write? H. Look at this, x2 sine theta. So I'm replacing here mg. In place of sine x2 sine theta x2, I'll replacing this one. So mv2 square by 2. So finally what I'm getting, root of 2gh. You look at the one in first and second case. Actually, O does work, only component of it, mg sine theta. The other component will be acting perpendicular to incline. Normal contact, work done by that will be 0. So O will do work, only the component of weight does work here. Then when I calculate the work done, you can see things clearly now. So when I calculate the work done, the work is done by only component of it. No, so I got the same speed, that one. Similarly, what happened here also, if I write equation, if I solve it, I'll get it. So for what is the final conclusion? V1 equal to V2 equal to V3 equal to V4 equal to root of 2gh. So therefore, this shows that this gravitational force, shall I say conservative force, it is independent of the path. Look at the path 1, 2, 3. Are they same? What do you mean by path? See, you move from one point to another point. Then, shall I say you're moving in one path? So look at here, work done is independent of path. No? So this is one advantage with the conservative forces. So if they give problem for us, this will be, third one is very difficult for us. Because look at the mg sine theta will be variable. We have to integrate, we have to solve it. So it's very simple. It's telling that just how much decrease in potential energy, mgh, that should be equal to kinetic energy. That's what this equation is telling. So to minimize mathematics, the idea of this conservative force is brought here. So why, sir, you can ask me, sir, why you are bringing conservative force? Just to minimize, to eliminate mathematical part in solving numericals, we are bringing this, the concept of conservative force. That's all. No other purpose here. Later, the conservative force played very important role. From conservative force, we went into defining the potential energy. From potential energy, we brought the potential concept. Like that, the application went further. So the main purpose was first to minimize the mathematics. So here, this is one advantage what you are going to see, that one. Okay, got this idea, no? So here to solve this particular thing. So let's go for a generalized equation. So here, what's happening? The mg sine theta or mg is what doing work, no? So according to the Work-Ng theorem, work done by any force should be equal to change in kinetic energy. Work-Ng theorem. Then work done by conservative force. You see that as the block moves from position A to position B, what quantity has changed here? Potential energy increased or decreased? when it moves from B to A. Potential energy got decreased, no? So look at and how mg will act. Mg will act vertically down. Or let's come for this. I'll give a very best example. I'll define this is h equal to 0. Now, what is the potential energy at A? 0. What is the potential energy at B? mgh. Now, when it is ascending, mg does positive work, no? When descending, mg does, when it is ascending, the weight does negative work. When it is descending, so when it is ascending, the weight does negative work. When it is ascending, the weight what happened does positive work. Okay, look at that. When the block moves from A to B, what is work done by mg? Negative. And what happened? Potential energy got increased. And similarly, when the block moves from B to A, the weight does positive work. Work done by the weight, positive. Because mg is acting vertically down, displacement is vertically down. So the work done by the weight, positive. So what happened? Potential energy got decreased. So there's some relationship between the work done by conservative force and the change in potential energy. So how they're related? Shall I put minus delta U? This is what happens. So work done by conservative force equal to minus delta. A good example is what this particular diagram itself, what you are seeing. So work done by conservative force should be equal to minus delta U. Means here, what is the meaning of this? When conservative force, when a conservative force does positive work, potential energy, I'm writing in short potential energy decreases. Similarly, when conservative force does negative work, potential energy. Sir, how do you can say? The diagram itself shows no here. Say, I'm not just telling like some videos, their content in the book. I'm giving enough diagrams to analyze. At least through diagrams you analyze here. It's not that somewhere in the book I'm just coming and dumping, I'm asking you to remember. Nothing like that. We have good examples here. When you move or you take notebook, you just rise it up, then the weight does positive work, weight does negative work. You release the book to fall freely, the weight does positive work. Then you know gravitational potential we do define like this. So there's one basic nature of the conservative forces. Okay, got this one. Now let me equate 1 and 2. These two equations I'm going to equate here. So with this, what I'm getting is minus delta U equal to delta. What do you mean by delta U? Final minus initial. Delta K means Kf minus Ki. So this should be Ki plus Ui, Kf plus Uf. What is Ki plus Ui? Sum of potential plus kinetic should be mechanical energy. Sum of kinetic energy potential should be mechanical energy. So therefore, when conservative force does work, and what do you mean by symbol E? So I'll write it here. Conclusion. Initial mechanical energy equal to final mechanical energy. So therefore, when conservative force does work, what will happen to the mechanical energy? It remains constant. Because I got initial equal to final mechanical energy. So therefore, when a conservative force, anything, positive work or negative work, when a conservative force does work, mechanical energy remains constant. Overall mechanical energy, total mechanical energy, you write it. Total mechanical energy remains constant. So therefore, what is delta E? When conservative force does work, so what happened to delta E? Delta E will be 0. What will happen to potential energy? May change. Conservative force, it must change. Conservative force does work, it will be non-zero. Then what about the kinetic energy? Will change that. So some examples what I'm just picking up here. Is it okay? No. So this is nothing but conservation of mechanical energy principle. Law of conservation of mechanical. Very important at many problems. I'll be using this. So what is this basic idea? No, there's nothing but called a law of conservation of mechanical energy. So therefore, when you should conserve mechanical energy, when a system is acted upon by several forces, all types of forces, but only conservative force does work, then mechanical energy is said to be conserved. Got this? So let me write that principle. It's a law I'm telling. So I think all of you, what do you mean by law? It's over. You should not question further here. You should try to learn only how to use that law. That's all. There's no other way. And this is the basic governing principle for us in the physics, whether a given question correct or wrong, whether what happened, whether what you did right or wrong. So you can take help of this one. So there's nothing but when a conservative force does work, total mechanical remains constant. So there's nothing but law of conservation of mechanical energy. So what will happen to potential kinetic? They will change, but overall mechanical energy of the system remains same. Is that okay? No. So there's the thing that one. Now we have to just pick up. So I introduced to the idea of what conservative forces. So let's go for non-conservative forces. So what do you mean by non-conservative force? Work done in a closed path is non-zero. And examples of them are friction, then viscous drag, induced electric field, few electric forces, few elastic forces. All elastic forces are not conservative. Few elastic forces also. Later on in the elastic chapter, I'll show where the elastic force can also be non-conservative under some circumstance. So these are examples. So work done in a closed path is non-zero. What do you mean by that? All these are dissipative forces. So conservative, non-conservative forces are dissipative forces. Non-conservative forces are dissipative forces. So let's do one thing. I'll give one small example. I'll keep the block on a rough surface. I think you know enough idea of friction. I'll give some kinetic energy to the block initially at point A. Got this? So and the finally what when the block will come to rest. In between you see that what actually is going on. The friction will act here. What are the other forces acting? The weight in mg and this is velocity. And the block has undergone displacement of x and it has come to rest here. Then again you move the block B, again at point B you give velocity to the same speed u to the block. Again when it comes to rest, will the friction will it give it back? Again at point B you're going to supply the kinetic energy. So when it is moving here, how the friction will be acting opposite to displacement here. So there's a point A, this is B, again the displacement x. So there's a closed path, will agree, A to B, B to A. So what is the work done by the friction when it moves from A to B? Equal to mu square minus mu square. Now also what happened? Mu square. So at A you give kinetic energy and at B it come to rest. Again at B you are going to give kinetic energy. Again at A it has come to rest here. So what happened that kinetic energy given? Did it got back again returns back to A? Nothing, no? On other side, you take help of the gravity. So you are going to project with a speed u in the presence of gravity. Somewhere here, it will come to instantaneous rest. When it is moving here, how the weight will be acting vertically down. This is instantaneous rest, not permanently. If you throw an object, instantaneous rest, this one. So again, the block B, because of weight, it start descending. This is the. Now when it returns back, it will have same speed on this u naught, v naught, I'll write it. Some of you are asking, is it a potential energy? No, it's a velocity. Look at this one. No, what was, I'll define h equal to 0. What was the kinetic energy at A? mv naught square. Again, when it returns back to the same point A, what is the kinetic energy? mv naught square. So what is work done by weight as it moves from A to B, negative. When it moves from B to A, positive. So what is net work done? 0. So no change in kinetic energy. Compare these two here. So here the weight mg is conservative. The weight mg, I'll write it clear here. And what about the friction force here? Non-conservative. Now getting the idea at least now. So conservative force, what happens once it consumes, finish, or it will not return back. Look at the second diagram. So what happening the weight? Again, when the block returns back to same initial point, it will give back its kinetic energy. It will give back that one. So net work done by conservative force in closed path 0. Net work done by non-conservative force in closed path will be non-zero. It's a dissipate. Means doesn't mean that non-conservative forces will always do negative work. Need not. But work done by non-conservative force in a closed path will be non-zero. It can be negative or positive. I gave example where it is negative. Oh.
మేము అవి నేర్చుకోలేదురా మేము ఉన్నప్పుడు.
Somebody please unmute, no? Okay. So got the idea, no? So this is about the basics. So what are the good examples of non-conservative force? Friction, viscous, drag, all they'll come under category of non-conservative forces. So whenever non-conservative force acts, don't apply conservation of mechanics in that one. Only conservative force acting, take help of that one. Sir, what about the external forces if they act? External force, what happen? You can call it some. If you look at the SC Verma, ES side, conservative, non-conservative, external. But if you look at the EDO book, no, it's just saying that conservative, non-conservative. I think it's just only difference in the classification, nothing to do. So you need not to bother. So like, is it external force conservative or non-conservative? You take any force, work done by that force in closed path 0, it'll become conservative. Work done by that force in a closed path non-zero, it'll become non-conservative. I think let's not fight with that classification of that, because we are bothered more about the conclusion. We are not bothered about anything about that grammatical things, everything. That means here, so there are two types of systems we'll get it, where only conservative forces are acting and will conserve mechanical energy. So even if non-conservative forces or external forces, if they act, then how to do the problem? Can we apply conservation of mechanics? No, you can take help of work energy theorem. So what it says is no. Very small theoretical information this is. So tomorrow what will happen? So now only I'll just bring you to the numericals. Theoretical ideas as and when I'll introduce. Because only theory, again, you'll feel bored because there is a good amount of theory is there. So with examples, numericals, as we proceed, we'll take help of that one. Okay, now on a system, what's happening on a system? Conservative forces, non-conservative forces, and external forces, all are acting. And according to the work energy theorem, Work done by all forces should be equal to change in kinetic energy. So this should be equal to what? Delta K. This is from where? Work energy theorem. And we know work done by conservative force minus delta U. Then this delta U I'll send on to this side. Now what is delta K? Kf minus Ki. Uf minus Ui. What do you mean by Kf minus Ki? Delta, this Kf plus Uf minus of Ki plus Ui. What is Kf plus Uf? Mechanical energy. What is Ki minus Ui? Initial mechanical energy. And this should be delta E. So therefore, what is the conclusion? In a system, if conservative, non-conservative, external forces, if they act, what will happen to mechanical energy? Will change. Or in a system when only conservative forces does work, mechanical energy is conserved. So when mechanical energy is conserved, I'm concluding the very important, the whole physics revolves around this idea. Mechanical energy is conserved when a system is acted upon by conservative non-conservative and external forces, and if only conservative forces are doing work, or only conservative forces does work. Okay, fine. So this is the thing, first thing. Next again, mechanical. Say I'm don't think that only conservative forces should act. Let all the forces act. If only conservative forces does work, mechanical energy is conserved. Mechanical energy is not conserved when a system is acted upon by conservative non-conservative and external forces, and if non-conservative or external forces does work. External forces, you are applying force on an object when you show, no? There's external force.
Okay, sir.
Okay, there's a thing. So all our entire numericals now, what we do, no, just they revolve around these ideas. So when we go to numericals, no, the student has to just take help of this idea. Means now, so if you look at the one thing, work energy theorem, if only can you apply work energy theorem in the first case? You can apply work energy theorem or conservation of mechanical energy principle. What about second case? Only work energy theorem is applicable. So therefore, shall I say work energy theorem is applicable in all situations, whether any force is doing work? Are you getting the trick? This is what needed for us in exam. In exam, some students, what they do, they're very smart. How they're very smart means they're not bothered about like identifying conservative, non-conservative. Just they apply work energy theorem, they'll get answer. Work-Engine theorem, nothing to do, no? There's nothing called like in Work-Engine theorem, there was nothing mentioned that what should be the nature of force. Work done by any force equal to change in kinetic energy. So therefore, I'm putting that one. Work-Engine theorem is applicable in all situations. Conservation of mechanical energy, it's got limitation. Limitation means only when conservative forces does work. So therefore, in exam, what you prefer? Work-Engine theorem, you'll be on safer side, no? Because you need not to bother about identifying conservative, non-conservative forces, then work done by them, which forces are doing work, which are not doing work, then conservation mechanics can directly come for Work-Engine theorem and wind up the problem. Exam point of view, I'm telling this one. When you are learning, yes, you identify all the forces, apply conservation method. But in exam, you must use the methods. Okay, let's take some examples so that it'll be easy for you what you are learning. There's only theoretical ideas, nothing is there. I think I'll introduce one page here. Even let conservative forces do work here. If non-conservative or action force does work, even if conservative forces are doing work or not doing work, second case, it doesn't matter here. Mechanical energy is not concerned. If work done by conservative force, whether zero or non-zero. Okay, now let's take some. So I'll just mix with the problems with the laws of motion, what we study now. So those things I'm going to introduce here. We'll take example of all the laws of motion, the pulley constraints, those things, so that you can learn. Now, what we are going to explore now, work done by different types of forces. So what are the different types of forces we'll come across? What are the different types of forces we come across? Till now, what all the forces you have come across? The weight, normal contact, tension, spring force, frictional force, and some external force. I think these are the 6 types of forces here. So what we are going to work out now, under action of all these different types of forces, how that can you apply conservation of mechanical energy or not? Or can you apply how to apply Work-Engine theorem? That will be our the overall discussion of this whole week. So we are going to explore all the possible force, pseudo force, also bring pseudo force. So under action of all these forces, so can you apply conservation of mechanical energy or not? Then if conservation of mechanical not possible, how to apply Work-Engine theorem? Okay, this is a block of M1 equal to so when block M1 descends by select a 2 meter. So I want to know what is the speed of the blocks. I'm starting with one very simple example. So look at this. The block has descended by how much? H equal to 2 meter. Now this has ascended by a distance say y. Now you know enough some laws of motion ideas, no? With that, what happened now? You can calculate what is the speed of. So will you have 2 methods in front of you. One, you can take help of the laws of motion. I'll ask you what is the speed of the blocks when block M1 yeah, come for this one. Find the speed of the blocks when the block M1 descends by h equal 2 meter. There's a question. Find the once again, I'm going to revise your total laws of motion friction. I'm just taking an opportunity. Those who have missed, those who have joined very new, okay, could not get, no. So all the laws of motion friction, once again, I'm going to revise this whole week. I'll just go back, pick up all the numericals. Here we'll discuss about the velocity rather than acceleration. Then the law of motion, we focus more on acceleration. Here I'll focus more on velocity. If you look at the SU mass, Engage icon, no, you are having very less problems, hardly 10 or 15. But you can make it 500 or 1000. Just go back to laws of motion. Come for this one. Okay, let's analyze the problem first. What are the forces that are acting? The weight M1G. Here, the tension T. This will be T. 2T. And this is the weight M2G. Now, all does work. The weight, tension, everything. No? So can we apply conservation of mechanical energy? I'll have water. Just meanwhile, you think. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's write all the things. Work done by M1G. So how much the force M1G is acting M1G and how that M1G will act in the direction of displacement H. It's a positive, no? Keep it here. Work done by the weight M2G should be equal to M2G into Y. Why negative sign? It does negative work. Work done by the tension. Work done by the tension on the block M1. T into H. Work done and it does negative work. And the same tension does positive work on the block M2. This is 2T into Y. Let's get the constraint equation. If the pulley moves up by 1 meter, go back to constraint equation. If this pulley moves up by 1 meter, here 1 meter will become loose, then how much M1 will descend by 2 meter. So from constraint equation, what is H? H equal to 2Y. From where I'm bringing this? Constraint equation. If the block M2 ascends by 1 meter, then here 1 meter will become loose, no? So this 1 meter, where it decreased here in these two parts of string will increase here. So how much M1 will descend by 2 meter. So therefore H equal to 2Y here. So substitute this. Work done by tension minus T into 2Y. So this is what? Work done by tension. And what it is equal to 0. So therefore, though tension acting, net work done by tension is 0. Then what is the only forces that are doing work? The weight. Can you apply conservation of mechanics? Yes, now you can apply it. So what is the decrease in potential energy of block M1? So how to write? Decrease in potential energy. So I'll write it by conservation of mechanical energy. I'll bring the diagram also. It'll be easy. Look at this one. By conservation of mechanical energy. How much decrease in potential? I'll write first problem. No? I'll write all the things in description. Decrease in potential energy of block M1. What is equal to? Increase in potential energy of block M2. Increase in potential energy of block M2 plus increase in kinetic energy of blocks. So decrease in potential of this, how much it is? M1 GH. Increase in potential G, M2 GY plus M1 V1 square by 2 plus M2 V2 square by 2. What is velocity of this block? V1. Any constant equation again? V1 equal to 2V2. How many unknowns are there? V1, V2 and Y. H equal to 2Y. You can eliminate that. V1 equal to 2V2. Then you get the speed of the block. Okay, now you say this is about, sir, like, how do I come to know potential increasing? You define, I define this is H equal to 0. So you can definitely say that if the block descends, what should happen to potential energy? Should the potential will decrease? No, if the block ascends, potential will increase. Already, I think you know very clearly that one. So the potential G will decrease. The potential in the block M1 decreases. The decrease in potential G got converted into increase in kinetic energy of the block and increase in potential energy of block M2. This is the way of identifying. See, like a blindly, I'll not apply the conservation of mechanism. What you should do, you should take help of this one. This is the analysis. You are supposed to work out this analysis. This is very important. This is what a student, the conceptual thinking will come into picture. Got this one? So every problem, you list out all the forces acting, then get into work done by them. Completed? So just see once. In books, what happens? They're given more some math-based everything. So such conceptual analysis is very less. So you feel very happy when you take the book because they have some force, time varying force or force varying with the distance, something all integration based. But they will not help us much in learning conceptual way. That's why I just picked up all the laws of motion problems so that you can observe carefully. Got it, no? So let's introduce to one more problem. No? Let me give the values itself. Find the speed of the system is released from rest. Find the speed of wedge when block descend by h equal to 3 meter. Very simple problem I just picked up. Now, what are the other forces I'm slowly bringing? The normal contact. There's a normal contact between the block and the wedge also. So what is the role of that normal contact is what we are trying to analyze here. Already you have come across such problems in the laws of motion. Now, the same numerical we are going to apply in different way here. Let's not bother anything. Sir, like, can I apply conservation of mechanical energy or not? That's the first question. So how to judge this? How to judge this? Can you apply conservation of mechanical energy or not? Only thing is, first you have to go for free body diagram, no? What all forces are acting and which forces are doing work, which are not doing work. Then only you can justify. Not looking at numerical. You have to really dig a lot. Means now, what you learnt in laws of motion, it was only 20% of problem. See, there's a beauty of physics. I'm not going to do anything new. What you learnt in laws of motion only, I will purify it. What we learnt in laws of motion, 20%. Now, what you're going to learn in work energy, I'll add 30%. It has become 50%. When we enter into next center of mass, there I'll add another 30%. Got this? This one, it has become 80%. Then when we enter into conservation of linear momentum, I'll add another 20%. Like that, what happen? The numerical what happen? The depth will increase as we keep on proceed. No, the different ways of that one. So only when you pick up same problem and apply the same concept different way. I think books what happen? They didn't do like that. It's left to them. But the concept clarity will come when the same numerical if you do in the different chapters and how that concepts get reflected. There's a way of learning physics. Where do you see if you pick up some engineering mechanics, very high books? Of course, students, if you take them, no solutions, nothing will be there. A good example, Pathfinder. It's all problems are picked up from engineering mechanics. Let that go. Announcement. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Now see that one. The beauty of learning mechanics. Why students find mechanics very difficult? Because you are just following some book, and the book is not in order. So what you have to do is you have to pick up a problems of laws of motion. There we introduce first laws of motion, then we introduce friction, then work per energy, then center of mass, conservation of linear momentum. Most of the numericals will be like this one. So in every, so laws of motion is a base fundamental chapter where plenty of numericals are there. As the chapter proceeds, as you go for new chapter, where to search new problems, go back to laws of motion. So that's what happened in Pathfinder or even in Resnick and all day. Some very good books you take, no? So they are doing that method. So let's follow that methodology so that little bit easy for us to learn concepts and application. Okay, now there's a problem already everyone knows. Okay, let's do one thing. So the moment I'll release the system, then the weight M1G will act. These are the various forces we know. Then the tension in the string, the tension T in the string. And then any other forces, the weight of the wedge, normal contact. Then there's a normal contact between the block and the wedge. Here also, if you want, you show it the 2T. I think already you know we have analyzed what forces acting on the pulley that is acting on the wedge also. So this will be only T. Yeah, you make it like this. No, which forces are doing what? Suddenly, so many things came. No. And now, how the motion of the block? It will have displacement. The wedge will have displacement x2. The block will have displacement x1, and the block will have displacement y1. What are all this x1, y1? Displacement of block. Any constant equation, x1 must be equal to x2. Any relation between y1 and x2? x1, y1 should be equal to x2. So therefore, with this, we'll also get relation between the velocities, no? The speed of the blocks. I'll take the one more diagram. Here I'll show only velocities. How the velocity of the wedge will be like this, v2x, velocity of the block. And what about the v1y? Got it? So now from the constraint equation, what you can write it here? From the constraint equation, what you can write? v1x equal to v2x, then v1y equal to 2v2x. Got this? So this is the constraint equation. Okay, now can you apply conservation of mechanical energy? So we should identify all the things now. What is work done by normal contact? Zero, because the wedge will not move vertically. Work done by the weight m2g will be zero. Let's come for work done by normal contact. N1, work done by N1. N1 does positive work on the block, no? So here we write N1 into X. And it does negative work on the wedge. And we know from constraint equation x1 equal to x2. So therefore, what is the net work done by the normal contact acting between the block and the wedge will be zero. Got it? No. Similarly, come for the tension. Work done by tension. Net work done by tension. Tension does negative work on the block M1, no? So minus T into Y1. Then what about the tension? Tension is acting at 2 points here as well as here. 2T into X2. I'm just showing the method to solve. You can apply this for almost all the wedge constraint problems. So look at the constraint equation y1 equal to x2. This will be 0. Okay, see now. Finally, what happened? Tension does positive work or negative work on the wedge. It does positive work. Say I'm telling this on this chapter. If you want, I'll teach for whole 1 year. The whole 1 year we can discuss. Just because any numerical you can bring it and you can say work done. It's an unlimited topic, that one. Got it, no? So work done by tension on the wedge, positive work. It does positive work. Work done by tension on the block, negative work. Net work done by tension, 0. Able to get this? I'm just writing mathematically everything I just concluded here. What about normal contact? It does positive work on the block M1. It does negative work on the wedge. Tension does negative work on the block M1. It does positive work on the block M2. Net work done by tension, 0. Normal contact N1 does positive work on the block M1. It does negative work on the block M1. How you can say, sir, negative? Look at X2 and N1, opposite, no? So negative work. N1 and X1, same direction, so positive work. So tell me, like, what is the only force doing work? The weight M1G. Can you apply conservation of mechanical energy? Yes, it is. So what is the, now we'll enter into the thing now. Decrease in potential energy of block M1. Decrease in potential energy of block M1 equal to increase in kinetic energy of block and wedge. So what is the decrease in potential energy? M1GH. That's what we took, no? That should be equal to what? M1 V1Y square plus M1 V1X square plus M2 V2X square. But all three are unknown, no? What to do? Take help of constraint equation.
Sir, what about potential energy of wedge, sir?
Potential energy of wedge. Are you not seeing? Wedge will move vertically down. Wedge will move vertically down, will go underground. Nothing, no, will be there only. Potential in the wedge remain constant. Okay, substitute all the values. So here use constraint equation, you get the required answer. I think what is the requirement of the problem? It's not that just writing some equation. What we have to do? We have to really put effort in drilling these things. Unless we don't conclude this part, no, it's not advisable to write any equation. So we should give maximum priority for these ideas. This is not multiplied, it is somewhere some information. Don't take again, I'm multiplying the bracket one there. Y1 equal to 2x2. Okay, now let me introduce to the next idea. See, there are a lot of theoretical ideas are there. Let me take example and introduce here. So here we are going for the next part. What about the work done in different frame of reference? So what is my next discussion? Work done in different frame of reference here. So already you know block upon a block concept. Now first let me apply the force 10 Newton. So look at the situation, find the work done by applied force F acting on the block for t equal to 0 seconds to t equal to 2 seconds. So first I'm applying a force 10 Newton force. So when I apply 10 Newton force, what conditions will arrive? So you know background of these things, so don't bother. Now let's analyze in terms of work done idea. The first case, I'll starting the first case. F equal to how much it is? 10 Newton. You know what is the maximum force for no slipping? Already we have a formula, no? What is the background formula? The background formula for maximum force for no slipping is given by mu into m1 plus m2g. Mu is how much? 0.4, 2 plus 3 into 10. So this will be 20 Newton. So what is the force applied? Force is applied how much? 10 Newton. So will the friction force acting will be static or kinetic? Or no sir, I don't know formula. What is the best method? So directly I assume the friction force acting. So how the friction force on the block M2 like this, the friction force acting will be in the direction. I'll assume that no slipping occurs. Sir, how can you, how you can say, I too don't know, I'll work out. I don't know formula, I'll work out here. So what is the expression for this one? F minus F is equal to, or what is the net acceleration of system? The friction will become internal forces. So the acceleration of system will be F by M1 plus M2. 10 by 2 plus 3, 2 meter per second square. Okay, this is the acceleration. Then let's calculate the frictional force. F equal to M1A. This will be 2 into 2, 4 Newton. What is the limiting friction? Mu N1. Limiting friction equal to how much? 0.4 is 8 Newton. No? So, but how much we got? Less than limiting. So what you can conclude here? No slipping occurs between the blocks. This is the first basic idea. So no slipping occurs. So let's here bring the concept of two frames. One person P, another person, let it be Q. Now let's come for this. So what is the question asked? Find the work done by applied force for F acting on the block for t equals 0 to 2 seconds. So for 2 seconds, what is the acceleration of the block? We know. So can we calculate the displacement of the blocks as it is? So we'll work out all, even the work done by friction in different frames we'll see. So I'll enter into the problem. What is the displacement of the blocks? Displacement of the block is equal to a t square by 2. Acceleration is how much? 2. Time is asking how much time? 2 seconds. Will both the blocks will have same displacement? Yes, it is. So what is work done by applied force? So where this force is acting on the block M2, no? So shall we write this F into X? So what is the applied force? 10 into 4, 40 joules. So what is this? Work done by force F on block M2. Let's also work out the friction force. And what is work done by the friction force? Work done by friction force. Who is doing this problem with respect to P? Now, similarly, with respect to P, what is work done by friction on the block M1? I'm splitting up this like this. So who will move the block M1? The friction force only. All of you able to see this? The friction force only. So what is the displacement of the block M2? That should be the displacement of block M1 because no slipping occurs. So what is the equation we are going to write it? F into X. And what is the friction force acting? 4 Newton. 4 into 4. 16 joules. This is what with respect to P, no? Look at this one. So what person P says? Friction does positive work on the block M1. Okay, that one. So person P, what is the comment? Person P says that friction does positive work on block M1. Okay, got this? And what it says, and the same friction does negative work on the block M2. It just says that one. It does positive work on the block M1 and it does negative work on the block M2. So what person P again? Person P says that friction does negative work on block M2. I agree with this. Okay, let's come for the person Q. The same situation. Now let me bring the idea with respect to Q. No. What is the work done by the yeah, I think you are able to see the complete diagram. No. What is work done by the friction according to person Q? What is the person Q? What is the person P? Is the inertial frame, no? Person P is what? Inertial frame. What about person Q? Accelerating frame, non-inertial frame. Person Q, what he comments? Block is at rest. Person Q, what he says? Block is at rest. Block M1 is at rest. That's all, no? Then what is the work done by friction on the block M1? Account to him. Account to person Q. Will be 0, no? Any 0? Anybody? Why 0? Because there's no displacement of point of application of force. With respect to ground, the friction is acting and the displacement of point of application of force. Person Q, what's happened? He says friction is acting, but there's no displacement of block. Block is at rest. So what is work done by friction will be 0. You look at now the role of friction here. In frame P, in the ground frame, the friction does positive work on the block M1. In the block frame, the friction does 0 work. So shall I say work done by a force depends on frame of reference. Getting the idea? So shall I conclude here? So look at the work done by friction. So what is the comment from person P? So what will be its comment? It says that person Q says that friction does 0 work or no work done by the friction on the block. Better say no work here. no work done by friction on the block M1. So shall we conclude here? No, look at the P and Q. So what is a P? Person P is a, I'll write it at two because what they are different. Person P is what? Inertial frame. What about person Q? Person Q is a non-inertial frame. So shall we take this one? So therefore, what is the one very important point I'm going to conclude here? What is it? Work done is different in different frame of reference. In one frame, if a force does work, in other frame, need not to do that same work. It can be different instantly. Okay, you do get many problems here. So therefore now, definitely what happened? In a numerical, what you should make observation now? In the numerical, what you should make observation? You have to make observation, are there any different frames are there? This you may, this is what one example I took. Go back to this. So what is the state of M1, M2? Will they move with constant speed or variable speed? They'll move with a variable speed, no? Okay, got this. Okay, now come for stand on the ground. Stand on the ground. What is the work done by the normal contact? What is the work done by the normal contact N1 on the block M1? You say positive. You stand on the wedge and check it. What is the work done by normal contact N1 on the block? Will be zero. Because if you stand on the wedge, how the block will appear? It appears just moving down. So work done by normal contact N1 on the block M1 with respect to ground, positive and non-zero. With respect to wedge frame, it is zero. So I'm telling this one, if I want to ask any good question, I just take this diagram, I'll just ask you rather than find velocity of the block, I'll just ask you these things. So these you find very difficult. Because students got, what happened, you are trained to what? Just write some equation, get an answer. There you find difficulty here. Go this the same. Go back to this problem only. Here only what happened? Wedge frame is there, and this one. You can also stand on the block and look at the wedge. It's not that wedge and block only. That one. There are three frames are there. What is that? The wedge frame moving horizontally, the block frame moving vertical, moving in a plane, and the ground frame. So in three frames, check it. What is the work done by the various forces? Will be different, and it just depends upon the values here. You have to. You can't say blindly. You have to work out and you have to tell it. Okay, I think so. Here is what slowly your difficulties will arise like this. So what is actually your focus will be work done by the various forces. So slowly I introduced to what today, the work done by the weight, work done by normal contact, work done by the tension, work done by the friction also. Okay, now there's the first case I brought it. Now second case, I'm going to apply 26 Newton. Second situation, F2 is equal to how much? The applied force is now 26 Newton. If I apply 26 Newton, then what about the various forces that are acting? I apply 26 Newton. I'm not sure whether slipping occurs or not. So what shall I do? I just assume the direction of friction. I'll assume in fact no slipping, and let me proceed here. So what is the total acceleration of system? F equal to m1 plus m2. So 26 by 2 plus 3, 26 by 5. Let me calculate the friction. So we know what is the limiting friction equal to how much? It is equal to F1L, 8 Newton. Now come for F is equal to M1. M1 is how much? 2 kg. 26 by 5. 52 by 5. Definitely greater than FL. So anything I should... So slipping occurs or no slipping occurs? Slipping occurs between the blocks. Now slipping occurs means what we should do? They will have different display. They will have different accelerations. They will have different displacements in a given interval of time. So let's calculate acceleration of them separately. At the same time, we have to discuss the work done in different frames. So here FL, this applied force. Okay, this is about the... You wait till end of the problem. Huh? Just do make observation rather than asking some things. Okay, here they will have like this. So what is the acceleration A1, A2? We'll calculate separately. No, A1 is equal to FL by M1. What is FL? 8 by 2, 4 meter per second square. What about A2? F minus FL by M2. 26 minus 8 by 3. 26 minus 8 will be 18 by 3, 6 meter per second square. These are the axes. What is the displacement now? Work done by friction will calculate here. Work done by the, with respect to two frames, person P and there's another person Q. Yes, definitely. Will they be same? No. So first with respect to person P, where is the person P? On the ground, no? You write it on the ground. Now get into the thing now. Work done by friction with respect to P on the ground. Work done by friction on the block. We are just bothered only on the block. Let's see. Even on the block M2, you can go for it. Let me focus only on the block. So work done by the friction on the block M1. So what you're going to write? FL into displacement of block. How to calculate displacement of block? What is the formula? X1 equal to AT square by 2. What is the time given? 2 seconds. Acceleration is how much? 4, 2. This will be 8 meter. Similarly, we'll calculate X2. Should be equal to A1. No? This is A2. A2 is how much? 6, 2 square by 2. 12 meter. Let's come for this. So this is how much now? FL is how much? 8 into this is 8. 64 joules. This is what? With respect to person P. Same friction, what work it will do with respect to Q. How to find out? Now person Q, what will come in? Block at rest or block in motion? Block M1, moving, that one you will see. So with respect to person Q, little bit the diagram we have to change it. I'll move this. Now come for this one. With respect to Q, what will happen? What we did with respect to person P on the ground, work done by the friction on the block M1. With respect to Q, we'll calculate. I'll take it here with respect to Q. Where is on the plank or block, anything you say, on the plank M2. Then how to do the problem for this? What you have to do is, we don't know what direction the block will move, with respect to Planck. Am I right? Actually, in what direction the block will be moving with respect to Planck, we are not sure. So first we should have a clarity of that. We know this is the acceleration E2. So where is the person? Person Q is here, no? Let me introduce here. Now what is this? You will notice a pseudo force. Now ask yourself like, which
Thank you,
force
sir.
will be greater? Which force will be greater, M1A2 or FL? I think we have to look at this. So what is FL? FL is 8 Newton, no? No, what is A2? A2 is 6 and M1 is 2. So which force is greater, M1A2 or FL? Definitely M1A2. So this will become A relative. So I'll proceed like this. M1R equal to M1A2 minus FL. Sir, how do you can say? I have enough data here, no? 2 into what is A2? This A2 is what? Pseudo force. Again, I'm making clear. I'm just putting thick arrow indicates pseudo force. Now, tell me why pseudo force? Because who is solving this problem? Your teacher or the person Q? Person Q. Of course, I'm only solving. I'm just asking you to imagine you are on the plank. You are on the plank and you are looking at the block. Then what you see? The friction FL is acting, then pseudo force. Check the value of M1, A2. A2 is how much? 6 minus FL is how much? 8. So 16 minus 8, 8 and M1 is 2. 4 meter per second. So what is the direction of this? Towards left, no? So person Q, what it says? What be its comment? The block M1 is moving towards left. So friction does positive or negative work?
Sir, AR is 2, sir, 2 meter per second square.
So 2AR is 4 newtons.
Which one?
12 minus 8 is
This is 12 minus 8. This is 4. Okay, then I'll change it. Yeah, thank you. Now, what is AR? This is AR is what? Displacement of acceleration of the block with respect to Planck. I'll calculate XR also. What is XR? AR T square. We know we are very good in relative velocity, no? I'll apply the same concept. So this is 2 in 2 seconds is asking 4 meter. So what is XR I should call, no? Displacement of block M1 with respect to Planck M2. In what time? In time interval 0 to 2 seconds. Okay, got this. I gave enough information. Okay, let's calculate the work done by the friction. Work done by the friction on the block M1 with respect to Q, no? With respect to person Q. Where is on the plank or non-inertial frame, you write it. Anything it's left to you on the ground, no? Is on the plank M2. Where is he? Is on the plank M2. So what you'll write equation now? FL into XR, not X1. And I'll put negative sign. Why negative sign? How FL is acting? Towards right. But the displacement of block with respect to plank towards left. So we know the value of FL. FL is how much? 8 Newton. Displacement of block 4 minus 32 joules. Just look at the thing here. So once again, to show that if a force does positive work in one frame, it may do negative work in other frame. It may do zero work. It may do more than that, less than that. So work done is different in different frame of reference. That's for this particular statement. You have this very small statement in SU Arma. Work done is different in different frame of reference. Maximum students, they just do remember. But you look at the problem, no? You are supposed to work out. You should take example, you have to analyze. What is work done by the applied force? I think that was the question that is asked, no? I think we left that. We didn't bother. So I'll just put it here. We'll just conclude that one. We'll just do it here. Work done by applied force with respect to what? With respect to ground. How much it should be equal to F into X2. So what is the displacement of the blocks? 12 meter, and F2 is how much given? How much we took? Where is the thing? 26 Newton. Yeah. X2 is how much? 12. This much is what? Work done by the only on the plank, because applied force is acting only on the plank here. And what is this FL? Work done by friction. Work done by friction on the block M1 with respect to plank M2. Okay, no, so there is, I think definitely it's a real big headache for you students. It's not that easy that you straight away you go and some constant equation to write, some laws of motion, not like that. Here we should be thorough in what, like going through the problems in all sense. I think I'll keep it here, later on I'll arrange. Let's come for very small problem. Let's see that how you. And there's one more. I was saying some definitions, no? The particular definition is what I'm trying to, I'll explain through this numerical. Now, a force F equal to 50 Newton is applied at one end of a string. Where the string? This is a string. And a force F is applied. The block is free to move on a friction of the take initial instant and final instant. For the time between these two instants, answer the following questions. Net work done by the force F on the block. Just yesterday, somebody gave message. Sir, shall I just refer your notes? Will it be sufficient for advance? See, it's not about just only getting rank, no. It's all about further. You should become engineer. You should do work. You should think. So just if you become IITian, okay, that one, you'll get a job. But how long people will bear you? One or the other day, you have to think it. So the very first you start learning how to think, the better will be your future, no? So I replied, okay, to get a rank, my notes is sufficient. But to get a knowledge, my notes will not be sufficient. Because when do knowledge will come? If you explore, no? What I'm just helping you here. I'm just helping you. What all I discuss numericals, I'm just helping you. Okay, these are the different ways you can analyze. Further, you have to take this and you have to multiply it. When you solve many numericals, you'll get still more better clarity. So students now they're thinking that, okay, sir teaches, then okay, finish, we'll get knowledge. No, sir teaches, you'll get some idea. When you solve problem, you get a knowledge. So try to be independent from here. Don't be parasite. Don't be parasite. So just develop an independent of this one. Okay, teacher gave idea. Okay, let me explore. This should be the approach in the physics. Maybe other subjects, maybe you can depend on teacher, but physics is like the more you become independent, the better it will be for you, your future. That's what my suggestion it is. Take the question, read it once. So what actually this diagram? The diagram is like this. So what is actually the situation? Will explore the what actually going on. There's a pulley. So initially the block will be somewhere here. There's a rope. There's a point P on a rope where I'll apply force. Then after some time the block will get displaced here. No? Definitely the block should move. Then what about the rope? The rope will be like this. Then this was the position of point P. So where the point P will come, will it be there only? I applied a force. The force I'm showing by blue color. Point P is the end of the rope. What are the theta, theta 1, theta 2? We'll take it, this one. Theta 1, theta 2. Theta 1, this is theta 2. Okay, this much of information is available and he has given this height. Now look at what is the length of the rope. Here L1, this will be L2, no? How much point P has undergone displacement? Yes, after some time, the point P will be here. After some time, the point P will be here. So this is the displacement of the point P, no? Tell me what is the work done definition? I gave one formula like in the basic thing, no? Work done is what? F bar dot S bar. What is that S bar? Displacement of point of application of force. So look at the point P now. It has undergone displacement. So what is work done by the force F? F into X. But we don't know X how to calculate. That X is what? Increase in length of the decrease in length of the string here. The decrease in length of the string is what should be called increase in length. So this you can try in ohm also. It's not something very big. So what is X is equal to from the diagram? The X is equal to L1 minus L2. But we don't know L1. Sine theta 1, what you can write it as? 2 by L1. Sine theta 2, 2 by L2. So what is L1? 2 by sine theta 1. So I got the X. So then what is work done by the force should be equal to F into X. This is the first part of the problem. Now, what is the final velocity of block? If initially it was at rest, here it was at rest. Now the block is in motion still. How to bring this velocity speed of the block? Work done by this force should be equal to change in kinetic energy of the block. So the definition, what it says, work done equal to force into displacement of point of application of force. That's what we brought it here. So what students will do instead of this, some students what they're doing is, what force you apply, that will be the tension. No? So what they do is they'll go for finding tension. Okay, nothing wrong. If you want, you can try that one. And as I pull it, so I'm pulling with a constant force, tension will be constant, but look at the theta. Theta is variable. So what type of force you're applying, where the angle will be varying. So then what happens, you should integrate, then you have to calculate the velocity. Instead that, what is the only force doing work? The applied force here. So what about the tension? Tension must be there, no? Why you didn't bother anything? Okay, let's. And this tension is nothing but equal to F, no? Here, what actually going on? The applied force does work. The tension does negative work. The tension does here positive work. So net work done by tension again 0. You can't take it for granted. You have to supposed to analyze. Net work done by tension is 0. So in every problem, you are supposed we have to dig deep into the situation, which forces are doing work, which are not doing work. Then we have to conclude here. I'll give one more similar to this. Yeah, we'll finish off the same idea, no? So now what is telling? A block is held at rest on smooth horizontal floor. A light. Network done by tension 0. You have to work out, no? I told you. You should think something. Network done by tension is 0. How it is 0? You can show that T into X. Here again calculate the work done by tension. Try it, no problem. Block A of Masami is held at rest on smooth or light frictionless pulley field. String of length is how much? 16 meter. Initial height of B is 5. From the B starts to move vertically down and A slides on the floor. Strikes make an angle theta with horizontal. Calculate relation between velocities. Calculate V when B strikes the floor. So what is the equation we should write? Decrease in potential in the block. What are the forces that will be acting? Tension, weight mg. I think I have to draw a diagram. No? The same idea, let me conclude this also. So these are the no. So let's get into the thing that one. So tension does negative work. Here the tension does positive work. This is theta. What are other forces that are acting? Na, MAG, and MBG. So what is our condition? Net work done. So the speed of the blocks A and B when block B descends here. So MB GH should be equal, the decrease in potential should be equal to increase in kinetic energy of the blocks. I'm writing equation. Because the block A will just slide, it will not lose contact. Now look at this one. What is work done by tension? Again, I'll put it net work done by tension 0. It does negative work on the block MBG and it does positive work on the block A. And as it slides, say as the beam moves, what will happen? It will slide. No, look at this theta. Theta is going to vary. And theta is going to vary. So what is work done by tension should be equal to T cos theta. T cos theta will be acting horizontally. And work done by tension, what happened, you have to calculate on the block A, and if you check that, it will be equal and opposite compared to block B. So for net work done by tension, so you have to work out. It's a mathematics, I'm leaving it to students. Look at the force now, the variable force it is. It varies with angle theta. So work done by tension on the block A. How you have to proceed like this. T cos theta into dx. Dx is what? This one. Then here what means? This is dy. The displacement of the block. So work done by the tension on the block D. It should be T into dy. So what is the limits? 0 to h. You have to calculate when this moves by h, how much it will move. The displacement you have to calculate. So you have to go back to constraint equation. Then you should replace with suitable limits. How y and theta x I should replace here. Now, any relation between VA and VB? Any constraint equation? How the velocity of block A will be? The velocity of block A will be in this direction. How the velocity of block B will be like this. Then any constraint equation?
VA cos theta equal to VB.
VA cos theta equal to VB, that one. So VA, if you can recollect, but we don't know this cos theta, no? He has given length of the rope, total length of the rope. If this is 6 meter, 10 meter is what this will be, no? And when he's asking when the block B reaches the ground, when block B reaches the ground, I think I have to, when block B reaches the ground, so what is the length of the rope will become 6 meter. So the equation will be like this. Huh? When the block B reaches the ground, so this is 6 meter. Total length of the rope is how much? Just when it is about to strike the ground, the conditions are there. And the length of the rope will be 10 meters. So here you'll get a theta. So then we can calculate this. This will be 100 minus 3664. This will be 8 meter. So what is cos theta? 8 by 10 or 4 by 5. But how work done by tension? We have to really fight with this mathematics. We should take help of this condition. Okay, these are the different ways of numericals that will come across. Huh? You have to, somewhere the integration will come. But without concluding network done by tension, you can't write conservation of mechanical energy. So can I apply work energy theorem? It's your convenient. Work done by all the forces. If you get work done by tension zero, okay, it'll become very easy, simple problem. Okay, no, so tomorrow we'll continue with more application numericals like this. Huh? There's nothing called like a best book. The most probable books, Engage, Icon, Pathfinder, S.C. Verma. These are the 4 books are there. Which one you feel convenient, you have to prefer that. But there's no one book which will help you. Some set of books you have to follow it. I'll upload the syllabus today. Okay, fine.
Sir,
Ah,
so
yeah.
in the previous case, how did you say that work done due to tension zero? So in this case, it's okay. But the
There also
previous
same thing.
question.
Here also again you have to, the same integration formula you have to apply. Work done by tension on the block. On the block, it should be equal to T into dx, T cos theta into dx. Look at again, it has undergone displacement. Correspondingly, the theta also variable here. You have to get the relationship. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you, all of you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Sir, can you send physics schedule?
Yes, everything will be uploaded. Huh? Sure, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, all of
Thank
you.
you,
Take
sir.
care. Bye.
Thank
See
you,
you.
sir.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.